Hello, welcome to Life Coaching on the Move. I'm just doing the intro part of today's podcast outside on a dog walk. It's just so lovely as I trip over with the bird song. I thought I'd share it with you. So welcome along. This is me, Dawn Fiske. Thank you for picking this podcast to listen to today and for giving me your time. Today we're talking about a really important subject that I believe is very underrated and under-discussed. Although, having said that, I have discussed it at least 3 times this week with various clients and friends who are all struggling with it. So it's very topical, which is what prompted me to cover it today. And it is fundamentally key to sorting our health out and our well-being and our confidence and our productivity and our fitness and everything else, because if we get this right, everything else is easier, and we feel so much better in ourselves, so much happier, less depression, less stress, less everything, and far better immunity and health. And that is sleep. Something that we do a third of our life. So if we live to 90, we spend 30 years sleeping or attempting to sleep. And that's what today is about, how when we're led there struggling to sleep, can't get to sleep, wake in the night, can't get back to sleep, how soul destroying that is, how debilitating it is, how negative it is on our health, well-being, confidence, mental health. And so I cover different little strategies that have worked for me, different strategies that I've learnt, that other clients have used, so that we can all improve our approach to sleep and improve our immune system, our health, our risk of getting dementia, and our general well-being and depression levels are so much better when we sleep well. So, because it's topical, I hope that it helps you, and I hope you get something out of it. Please do share your views with me. Visit www.milestone-coaching.co.uk to contact me and find out all sorts of other things like the blog, workshops that we've got coming up. I've got a new workshop, a time management 2-hour Zoom workshop coming up in April on a Saturday morning, so that because you're all stressed, and when many of us are struggling with time management, the last thing we want to do actually is take time off to attend a workshop. So I've done it on a Saturday. In fact, ironically, I'm running a time management workshop for a company on Wednesday, and I sent out forms, questionnaires and surveys beforehand to see what they were specifically struggling with, so that I could tailor the content. and bizarrely, the surveys didn't come back by the closing date. In fact, one came back over the weekend apologising, saying, I clearly need this time management workshop because I haven't had time to fill in the survey. So it made me smile. Anyway, I'll crack on. Have a look at the website. It's April the 17th, 10:30 to 12:30 on a Saturday morning. It's just 25 quid, which is peanuts really. But if it helps to shake everything up with your approach and increase your productivity, decrease your stress, get you better results, get you more of a work-life balance, and therefore much more healthier and a feeling of control, then it's worth that 25 quid and 2-hour investment just on a Saturday morning to shake everything up and to learn new ways. Right, let's crack on with this week's episode of Life Coaching on the Move. Today I thought I would talk about the one thing that we can all work on or focus on or be mindful of that will have a direct effect on improving our health and well-being. Incredibly powerful, incredibly important, I think very underrated, very misunderstood. And for all of those reasons, I thought I'd focus on it today. Plus, it has raised its head with one-to-one coaching clients recently, so it's been in my mind. Plus, this morning I heard that it is National, maybe even World Sleep Day. So I thought I would focus on the importance of good quality sleep, partly because, as many of you know, I have suffered over the years with bad sleep, and I realise the effects of that. First, poor quality sleep when my second born came into the world. He was a shocking sleeper. He had, it transpired, arrived in the world so fast that his ribs were compressed on his stomach, or his sort of digestion. So every time he ate food or tried to release food, it hurt. He was in a lot of pain. So as a baby, he screamed a lot, night and day, and so therefore slept very badly. He hated car seats. He screamed on every car journey, me not knowing it was because he was in pain. He screamed every time he tried to fill his nappy. He cried after every meal feed. He just screamed, was for about 3 years, it seemed. He didn't sleep through for the first 3.5 years. And with a toddler as well, a slightly older toddler, who was an early riser, I was on my knees with sleep deprivation. I felt so unwell, so not on this planet. I was existing and a zombie. It was awful. Years later, I suffered from insomnia through anxiety, and also menopause, I believe, really, really impacts on sleep and causes insomnia. And I think causes anxiety in the night when you're awake and you feel the rest of the world are asleep. So I know what it feels like to have really poor quality sleep. It's horrible. It's torturous. I also know what it feels like to actually get to a point in your life where you are sleeping better and how much better you feel. So it is worth aiming for. Insomnia and bad quality sleep quality street. Where's my brain thinking at the moment? Is worth working towards. So I've been working with clients recently, and this subject has cropped up, and how it is affecting their memory and their performance and their mood and their well-being, all of the side effects of poor sleep. The anxiety is increasing, and it's just really impacting on their health and well-being, their friendships, their relationships, their sense of self-esteem, their self-doubt. Everything is affected because they're suffering so much at night and bad sleep. So it's a horrible picture. Also, scientifically, it's been proven that poor quality sleep over a long period of time can really have negative impacts on our health. They do believe that very poor quality sleep over long periods of time is directly related to dementia and Alzheimer's, for example, and other health conditions are seriously impacting on because of sleep. So we can massively improve our immune system as well by getting better quality sleep, or through poor sleep we detrimentally affect our immune system. So for all of those reasons, it is massively the foundation to our health and well-being in a good way if we can improve our sleep. This is why we're having a National Sleep Day. It's so important, it's underrated, but we really do need to throw everything we can and realise and appreciate the benefits, the health benefits, the well-being benefits of getting good quality sleep, because often we neglect it. Often we don't throw enough effort into ensuring we have long enough sleep and good quality sleep. So I thought I would touch base on that. And whilst I was thinking about how bad my son was during the night, he did go to sleep on time. We did have a regular. So I actually was reflecting on what our sleep habit, our routine was when the children were tiny. And if any of you are parents, you will know that how important it is to get into a sleep routine, how important it is for you and your sanity, for your livelihood of your family, And for the toddler or the baby, they sleep so much better if they're in a routine. And I was recalling this morning, what did we used to do? Well, so often, so many of us parents get into good sleep habits with our youngster. We give them their dinner and we then let them run around. They're usually full of energy after their main meal. They run around, and we used to have a little play session, and the toddlers would chase each other and play, and they'd have a bit of an increase in activity post dinner. And then I would consciously work towards winding them down, calming them down. And that would usually entail, come on boys, come and tidy your toys up. And I'd try and get them involved with tidying their toys away, calming down, slowing down, stop jumping on things and bouncing around and things like that. I would run a nice warm bath, bubbles. They would have a long play in the bath. They would have lots of toys in the bath, bath toys. They'd be pouring water and tipping water and things like that, and have a lovely play together in the bath. Warm water, bubbles, and I would try my hardest to calm it down. That would usually then coincide with my other half coming home from work. And man's instinct is to try and wind them up and tickle them and throw them around and chase them. And I remember distinctly saying, no, don't wind them up. I'm calming them down. It's nearly bedtime. And he would soon learn that actually it paid not to wind them up, because bedtime would go so much better if we kept it calm and quiet. And we had blackout blinds for the windows, anything and everything to try and help their quality sleep. So we would dim. So therefore, what we were doing was dimming the lights. We were minimising how much bright light they were getting, one way or the other, whether it was through natural sunlight or through our artificial light if it was winter. So we would have the blackout blinds and a night light, a low night light in their room. And often they would have warm milk before they went to bed. They were in the routine of warm milk. We might watch a bit of CBeebies before bed, or a DVD, a bit of Pingu or something like that. But I wouldn't have the bright lights on, I remember. I would have low level lights. One would sit on my lap drinking their bottle of milk, the other one with warm milk in a beaker or something like that. And it would be calm, it would be quiet, it would be very subdued, low lighting, a bit cinema effect kind of thing. And then they would have stories, so I would read to them, but it would be sat down, very mellow, very gentle atmosphere. Often then they might have a little tune on there. I think they had a sleep machine, that put some nice images up on the ceiling and played a nice tune. You could have it on a timer and it would play these images on the ceiling, and they would often just watch those images and listen to the tune and fall asleep to that. And the timer would go off, and I would check in on them to pop my head around the door, and they'd both be fast asleep. So that is a kind of routine that really works for infants. It's what many of us as parents do, similar sorts of routines: a story before bed, nice and calm atmosphere, a warm bath before bed, warm milk before bed, all of those things, gentle lighting, reading, those things. And yet, when we're older, we stop all of that. But it works. If it works for young ones, it can and does work for us. We need to apply the same sorts of strategies to ourselves, because all of them work, and there's reasons why all of them work. And it's not just by accident that we find they work with toddlers. There are genuine reasons why that works. So if you're trying to improve your sleep routine and your quality of sleep, then do all of those things, reenact all of that. Warm milk has got, I don't know what they are. There's certain chemicals in warm milk that genuinely help us to sleep. So there is a reason why children have warm milk at night, and it helps to settle them. It genuinely is right and aids sleep. So we could do that for ourselves. It goes back to the old days where they used to have Horlicks. You know, the old ladies used to have Horlicks, and some do still. They do still sell it. It's because of the warm milk that it helps us sleep, or can help us sleep. For example, the dim lighting is the right thing to do because it changes the melatonin hormone, our sleep hormone in our brains, and settles us and balances or gets the hormone in the right levels for us to sleep, which is why if you're having bad sleep, you need to get out in the daylight, get light to your eyes and in your vision, in your brain, through your eyes in the morning, before lunch preferably. Get lots of daylight, go out for a walk before lunch, get that daylight, get that bright light into your eyes to readjust your melatonin levels, and then minimize it after lunch PM. So if you're going outside, maybe, and you're struggling with your sleep, maybe wear sunglasses from lunch onwards, or don't go outside or whatever. Towards the evening, we need to dim the lights. We need to put low-level lighting on, lamps on, and not have bright overhead lights on in the evenings. Maybe sit with just a TV on in a kind of cinema effect in the winter and things like that. This is why we have low lighting in the children's rooms and so forth. We can do the same. We can minimise the amount of light we have. Unfortunately, what we do, we quite often don't do that. We're often still on computers, sending emails, doing work, and we get the lights from our computers and our devices and our phones, and we're often sat scrolling through our phones and social media at night, and we're getting that light, which is putting our melatonin, sleep hormone, all out of sync before bed. The warm bath, if you have a hot bath before bed, that actually affects your temperature. When you get out of the bath, your body temperature drops, which is conducive to good sleep. We need a colder room. We need to turn our heating off in our bedroom or open the window. We need to adjust that bedroom heat so that it's different to our lounge, the heat in the lounge, for example. And we can help and aid that physically ourselves by having a warm bath before bed or a warm shower before bed, because then our body temperature naturally drops, which is conducive to that. So what we need to do then are all the things we did. The warm milk might help. Eating way before bedtime, so that if you eat a big meal, when we eat a big meal, our heart, our blood pressure, all of that increases because it's actively digesting our food. So our heart rate increases. We can't sleep well if our heart rate is increased. Our heart rate needs to drop. We need to calm, and everything needs to stop. So we must eat way before, a good 2 hours before dinner. Before bed rather, so that our heart rate and our digestion has calmed and settled, it's done its job, and we're in a more peaceful, restful, physiological kind of situation. So we need to eat earlier. We need to have a nice warm bath. We need to read. It tires our eyes. It calms us down in low light, like we read to the children. It distracts us. We get absorbed in that story, so we're not thinking about our worries and our to-do list and what we have and haven't done and got to do, etc., etc. Calms our mind down. Or we could do an attitude journal. We could journal, write a diary, something like that, distract ourselves, minimize the light to our eyes, reduce the temperature in our room. All of those things will work and help us to get good sleep. Minimize the caffeine. Generally, children don't generally have caffeine. Toddlers in particular, we don't tend to give those caffeine. Well, most of us don't. We need to reduce the amount of caffeine that we have post lunchtime, or no caffeine after lunch. If we're going to have caffeine, then we need to have it earlier in the day, because its half-life takes so long to get out of our system. So it needs plenty of time to get out of our system by bedtime. So all of those things we can do and make ourselves go to bed earlier so that we have a transition time, the time to calm down, the time to get sleepy, be in bed, in the bath, read, get into bed, read, and things like that, so that we're not suddenly work, race, get into bed and expect ourselves to fall asleep. We need that transition time, which is the time that we have with our toddlers, calming them down, letting them watch a little bit of CBeebies, reading them a story, that transition time, so they do then get into bed and they're off to sleep straight away. We wouldn't let them play outside, climbing frames, jumping on the trampoline, get them in, right, bedtime, put them in bed and expect them to fall asleep. They just wouldn't. We give them that transition time. We need that transition time. But we often don't allow ourselves. So we almost need to treat ourselves the way we would treat our toddlers. Give ourselves that bedtime routine, that good sleep hygiene. So I hope that helps you. By the way, just thinking about it, little announcement. Because I've been working so much on time management with people, their lives are chaotic, they're working under pressure, they need to get some kind of structure to their approach in time management. They need to sort of shake up their work approach, their work-life balance, their routines, their to-do lists, get over procrastination, get some more motivation, get some more control. This is cropping up a lot with clients at the moment. And once they do address that, how much better their life is, more in control, better routine, much more calm, much less stress, much more sense of being in the driving seat of their daily routine, their work-life balance, more structure to the day, and therefore more time to themselves, more me time as a result, and they're managing their stress and their well-being better by addressing their time management issues. If you want to do that, because it keeps cropping up, I've decided to just open it out to anybody. You can enlist yourself for some time management training by releasing an ongoing time management workshop that people can sign up for, a bit like my life skills and confidence course, where I just keep rolling it over. So once we finish with one group, I reintroduce the dates because it's so popular. So my first time management workshop, it's just 2 hours, it's going to be on a Saturday morning, because I realise you're all under pressure and you can't do it during the day work hours because it impacts. So it's a Saturday morning, 10:30 to 12:30 GMT. So that you can address all of those issues, get some strategies, get some practical advice on how to sort of shake it all up and sort it all out. If that would help you, it's just £25 to spend 2 hours sorting it all out, and then how much better might you feel when you've got some structure and some practical ways and strategies. So that one, the first one, is 17th of April, Saturday 17th of April. I am minimising how many. There are just a maximum of 10 10 people only. So if you want to reserve your place on that workshop, then please do feel free. Visit the website www.milestone-coaching.co.uk. Let me say that again. It's too early in the morning. www.milestone-coaching.co.uk. Have a look at the workshops tab, and you can sign up for that through the website, or drop me an email, which is also there on the website. So I hope that's been useful today. All I can say is sleep well.